Hello Shadows, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about why the Fandom Menace is so frustrated with Disney and Star Wars, or Lucasfilms to be more exact. Now, you can say the problem kinda started with The Force Awakens, but I'm not really going to go into into The Force Awakens bit, because everybody was excited for Star Wars when The Force Awakens came out. Not everybody loved The Force Awakens, and I understand the reasoning. The Force Awakens, though, regardless if it's a copy and paste movie from The Force Awakens with a few adjustments, in my opinion, was a good starter up to the new trilogy of Star Wars. Rogue One, in my opinion, is the best Star Wars movie out of the Disney Star Wars movies that we've gotten within the last 5 years. The Last Jedi is where the actual issue started. Ryan Johnson purposely did say that he was wanting to make a movie where half the fandom absolutely loved a Star Wars movie that he did, in this case being The Last Jedi, while the other half completely hated The Last Jedi. Now, I always said The Last Jedi is not the worst Star Wars movie, in my opinion, because the worst Star Wars movie is the Holiday Special. But that's not me saying, hey, The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie, because, to be honest, if we talk about in general, Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, is the best Star Wars movie. If we're talking about Disney Star Wars, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is the best Star Wars movie, if we're just talking about the Disney Star Wars. Now, the movie itself, as flawed as it might be, that wasn't much of an issue. The movie itself wasn't exactly the issue. It's the man behind the movie, if you get what I'm talking about, being Ryan Johnson. And then also Kathleen Kennedy jumping in, which she's the president. And then some other people at Lucasfilms. Since The Last Jedi came out, has been bashing fans who dislike The Last Jedi, calling them narcissistic, overweight, middle-aged white men who are like basement dwellers. Now, I have criticized the Last Jedi. I also said that there's been some parts that I might have liked, few, but like with seeing Yoda again, I'll give him that. Nostalgic purposes, but still. But yeah, I can't defend really what people have issues with The Last Jedi, because one, it's their opinions, it's their takes on the movies, takes on your product. And two, I can't really defend Ryan Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, Freddie Prinze Jr., J.J. Abrams, or anybody else that has at Lucasfilms that has trashed people who disliked The Last Jedi. Later on, Solo. Now, I'll get to Solo in a bit, but the main issue is not Solo, it's not The Last Jedi, it's literally the people behind Lucasfilms. That's what the Fandom Menace is issue with. Not so much of the movies, but more so with the people. I mean, yeah, it has some things to do with the movies, like with Solo: A Star Wars Story. Nobody asked for a Han Solo movie, and like L3 was like one of the most annoying characters. They were trying, like, with The Last Jedi, yeah, Ryan Johnson may have tried to put too much of his, as some people in the Fandom Menance might call it, SJW views down our throats. And to be honest, we spent way too long on Cato Bite in The Last Jedi. Yeah, even though I did have said I did not really mind grumpy old Luke Skywalker because we had one more movie. Yeah, left before the saga ended, or the trilogy ended. But yeah, I understand people's criticisms with grumpy Luke. That wasn't exactly the same Luke as we saw in the Return of the like that we met in the New Hope and said goodbye to in the Return of the Jedi. My main issue with Luke was his death. Like, I wouldn't have minded Luke's death if it was good or epic or a death that he deserved. And for that character, Luke Skywalker's death scene in The Last Jedi was lame. I mean, I'm probably going to get attacked, and I'm prepared for it. But Ryan Johnson has been saying, "Oh, this is the perfect movie ever, where there's no criticism, even though there's clearly criticism, and I clearly respond to it by bashing those people who are criticizing my movie that I'm claiming that's perfect. That's absolutely not." To be honest, Ryan Johnson did that. Ryan Johnson's never been in the art world or the theater business. No, art world in general, because if regardless if he's a painter, a drawer, or a movie, or a person in production in Hollywood, if you cannot acknowledge that there will always be some criticism to your work, no matter how good or bad you may think your work is, and how good and bad your actual work is, there will always be some level of criticism. And if you cannot take that, then you have no business being in that field that you're in. And to be honest, because of the insults, that's I feel like that's the major reason why Solo: A Star Wars Story bombed. It's not necessarily because of Solo. I mean, of The Last Skywalker bombed. I mean, it did great in money wise, but people, let's say if people at Lucasfilms were actually acting like grown ups, taking the criticism pretty well, just as well as Zack Snyder has with the DCEU, like George Lucas had with the prequels. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe, yeah, some people will have been turned off, and I have seen Solo: Star Wars Story because they dislike The Last Jedi, but it'll be more people seeing it if people behind Lucasfilms acted like how George Lucas did when he got criticism with the prequels. Same with Zack Snyder with criticism against the DCEU. Michael Bay with Transformers and the Ninja Turtles, handling it like grown-ups, taking it. And this trilogy doesn't seem like it has exactly a plan, too. Like, J.J. Abrams, like I said, The Force Awakens, I think it was a good story movie, regardless if it was a rehash of of A New Hope. I think The Last Jedi was, I think the Force Awakens was a good movie in terms of a starter up. Yes, it sucked that we didn't see Han, Luke, and Leia in the Force Awakens together again. But when I saw this in theaters and before the Last Jedi came out, I was, I was bummed that we didn't see the OG trilogy characters reunite. I trusted in Lucasfilms that they had a plan, But in The Last Jedi, they had Leia be in a coma for like half the movie. And even though, like I said, even earlier in this video, I did not mind Grumpy Old Luke, because we had one more movie where we got to see Luke that we do know, but from the original, but more mature, coming just the end, and in the next movie, which could still happen with the Force Ghost. Hopefully, don't fuck this up, JJ. But you got Han dead, Luke dead, Carrie Fisher is dead. We're going to get some recycled scenes with Leia. I even heard that Leia's supposed to die from old age, which probably the safest and best and wisest move on Lucasfilms' part. Cause I know some people had issues with Han Solo's death. I personally didn't. I mean, yeah, it still sucked, and it surprised me, and I hate that part of the movie, not because of J.J. Abrams. It's just because Han Solo is one of my beloved characters, and I hate that part. Like, dude, why did you just do that? Honestly, kind of why did you just kill your own father? How did he try to help you? And Han Solo's death got more shock out of me than Luke Skywalker's death. You can say in a semi more positive way, the way they want me to have it. When I saw Luke's death in the theaters for the first time, I guess I saw The Last Jedi 3 times. I only played for it once, my first time. So what? But I wasn't like in the same way as I did with Han Solo, because I did say what, and that was pure surprise. But it wasn't exactly bad surprise, or it wasn't a bad reaction like Luke was. Like in my head, I was saying, "Oh come on, Luke deserves a more badass death than this." I'm not 100% sure. I'm not that knowledgeable about the old expanded universe, just now considered as legends. But I'm willing to bet you, if they had killed Luke Skywalker off in now Legends, which is old canon, I'm willing to bet you his death would have been more impactful for the audience and more badass and more, I hate to say this, but more deserving for the character than what we got in The Last Jedi. And that was like definitely one part that angered me. And The Last Jedi, as Jeremy from Geekers and Gamers has said multiple times, had pretty much retconned a lot of the stuff that happened in The Force Awakens. It didn't really answer Rey's parentage, except maybe the fact that, now we're seeing where we see multiple Reys, maybe it's just a clone. I'm hoping it's not, because that would be stupid in a cheap way. And then we get to see the last Rise of Skywalker. And I do see that in the 2 trailers that we got, it seems like it's retconning what had happened in The Last Jedi and acting like a sequel to The Force Awakens, like acting like The Last Jedi never really existed. I mean, I heard that they're going to try to bring Luke Skywalker back, but then they do that, then what was the entire point of killing him in the first place in The Last Jedi? Besides, if you're going to bring a Skywalker back, as much as I love Luke Skywalker, because he's my favorite Jedi of the prequels, I mean, he's my favorite Jedi in general, but bring back Anakin. Because since you're bringing back Darth Sidious, which I might make a video of this, they're going to bring back Darth Sidious, and they might as well bring back Anakin Skywalker. And so, since Anakin's the one who was supposed to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force, let's bring in Hayden Christensen to come back, be Anakin Skywalker again, and fulfill the prophecy for the second time. Because technically, Anakin did fulfill the prophecy by destroying Darth Sidious in Return of the Jedi, saving Luke, and destroying the Darth Vader side of him, which was the Sith Lord side of him. So Anakin did bring balance back to the Force. Yes, it took the help of his son and the near death of his son to get him to fulfill the prophecy, but it still was fulfilled. So the Sith Jedi, like, I'm really tempted to make a video on this channel giving off my opinions why bringing Darth Sidious back in the movies dampens the whole Vader/Anakin redemption scene in Return of the Jedi. I even had a conversation with my brother earlier. My brother's not a big Star Wars fan. He used to be a big Star Wars fan, but not anymore. He even agreed with me that, and me and him don't really agree that much on Star Wars, which is saying something. But even my brother agreed with me, and was essentially agreeing with a lot of you. Bring back Darth Sidious does dampen the whole redemption arc for Anakin. Because, kind of like if they bring back Luke Skywalker for Episode 9, after killing him off in Episode 8. This same logic can apply with Anakin. With Emperor. Why kill off Luke in The Last Jedi to only bring him back in Rise of Skywalker? Now I've heard some reports that Ben Solo might die. So does that mean Rey, regardless if there's gonna be like reports that she's gonna be Darth Sidious's granddaughter, she's gonna be a Star Skywalker? I don't know. It's all confusing, and it's partially confusing because Lucasfilms doesn't really have a plan for Star Wars, and that's one of the frustrations with with Lucasfilms. On top, so to recap, it's partially Solo and partially The Last Jedi, but not so much. Why the Fandom Menance are frustrated with Lucasfilms is because how they've been treating the fans. Since some of us has been criticizing Solo and the Last Jedi. Pretty much any project of theirs, they've been trashing us, who has been critiquing it. And kind of like their double standard. Like, let the past die, kill it if you have to, but when we need it, we're going to bring it on board and use it as marketing. The last trailer for the D23 trailer for Rise of Skywalker kind of shows that. The first, I want to say 45 seconds, about 40 seconds, they showed scenes from the prequels and original trilogy. And then, shortly after that, scenes from The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. As a nostalgic piece to get us into, like, new footage of this new trailer. With having us hear the Emperor's voice. Like, make up your minds. If you want the past die, then let It died. Don't bring it back for marketing purposes. But and then you pretty much telling us fans when you're in Star Wars that we are wrong. We don't know what true Star Wars is, even though Star Wars has been around for 40 years, and for like what 35 of those years about Star Wars was not Disney-fied. So does that mean Dave Filoni doesn't know Star Wars, even though he has two best Star Wars shows under his belt, Clone Wars and Rebels, Clone Wars first and Rebels. Just Don Favreau does not know anything about Star Wars, even though he has done at least the first season of Mandalorians and in production for the second season, and I even asked for George Lucas' help. Does that mean Jon Favreau doesn't know Star Wars? Does that mean Mark Hamill doesn't know anything about Star Wars, even though he had openly criticized the behind the scenes a few times in the Disney Star Wars? Does that mean Mark Hamill, who played the Luke Skywalker, has been Luke Skywalker since 1977, not knowing what Star Wars is? Does that mean that Mark Hamill doesn't know, the Luke Skywalker doesn't know what Star Wars is? Because he criticized. That's just some thought. Anyways, hopefully I made this clear, because some of you might still not get it, some of you might do, but besides bashing people who criticize anything Star Wars or anything in the movie industry, hear them out first. Listen to why they dislike something before you judge, because maybe their reasoning is not so bad after all. And yes, I'm specifically looking at you, Lucasfilms. Anyways, what do you guys think? Are there any points that you guys felt that I missed? Or what? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. And may the force be with us all.